what happens with older adults is there's added necessities in terms of health and wellness and all these other kinds of topics that I had talked about and fields. So the first is safety and security, and people worry when people start looking at their parents falling or worrying that they're going to wander out of the house, or people are going to come in that shouldn't be there, or they're going to fall. All kinds of relatively inexpensive, relatively easy to install kinds of issues. In the left-hand corner is the Apple Watch that of course the millennials embraced before while we were all wearing our dial watches, but now they've made it for health. And not only is it to keep your blood pressure rate for activities, and I just found out you burn off 950 calories an hour when you play pickleball. More important is for those vulnerable adults that are wearing this thing, and it may be more complicated than a lot need, but if you fall, it'll go off, and there's an emergency that'll beep up and see if this fall was really a fall and you're in danger. If you're okay, if you ignore it, it's going to call the paramedics. You can push and say, no, it was an accident, and it'll stop. So this is the Apple Watch. This is not your emergency response system around your neck. So lots of monitors around the house. And again, the advantage of these is they go into smartphones. So anybody, if you have concerned family member, they can, or professionals like an alarm system that are monitoring the falls or break-ins, they can also be monitoring various things around the house. If you put these sensors up, a Ring system for under $500, also Nest, you can put monitors in the house, you can put sensors on the doors, you can put them on your bathroom, and you know if somebody's going in and out, and they can all be set up in terms of timing. So if you know, and there's this mother system over here that's in the right-hand corner, if you know mom usually gets up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's 9 o'clock and she hasn't gotten out of her room yet, or she hasn't been to the bathroom yet, it's a red flag. And there are systems now that'll let you know that. Or she goes into the bathroom and she's not out in 45 minutes. So there's all kinds of monitoring, and there's cameras that maybe started out to be made for alarms, but they'll work just as well for monitoring. So lots of those systems. Again, I put in this corner because I was walking in Century City, these brightly colored watches that were made for children. And I asked them, these are GPS watches that you can push and you can actually talk. There's a speaker on. They're $89 and they're $5 a month to monitor. So if you're worried, if you have a independent aging adult, or it's you and you're going walking, you've got this thing on you to call for help right away, or if you're not back, somebody can call you. Doesn't mean you're not going to get lost. At least it means for relatively inexpensively and relatively simply, somebody can find you. So all of these are, some of these are made for older populations, but many of them are just adapted from younger populations. And then we have this innovation in technology that is unbelievable, that every year we have technology shows that has more and more. It started out 10 years ago. I was in American Society of Aging conference, and the prize winner was a diaper that beeped when it was wet. And they had started with babies, and then it ended up in nursing homes, of course, because they knew when to change people. And that was like a real innovation. Now in Japan, they've got these robots that are changing people and serving people. This refrigerator down here is an LG refrigerator, and they're under $3,000, and they're smart, and they take pictures. You scan your food. When it runs out, it'll let you do it. You can take a picture of inside the refrigerator. You can also put the expiration dates on there, and I'll tell you when things are expired. But you can take a picture inside your refrigerator, so when you get to the market and you forget your grocery list, you can look right in there and see what's not there. So it's pretty amazing. I mean, these are definitely much less expensive than my refrigerator, and they're coming out with, LG seems to be, and Samsung seem to be coming out with huge amount of these smart technology. And again, it's for convenience, but it can be for safety too. So you've got lots of, it's not just the hands-on and having to run over mom's house that's 45 minutes away before you go to the grocery because you don't know what she eats, but it's looking in that refrigerator and seeing what she's out of. Again, these shoes on the bottom here have GPS systems in them. So if people have tennis shoes and they're walking, you can find them, and they don't have to wear the thing around their neck, and they don't have to wear the watch, but you can monitor people for that. This woman up in the left-hand corner, for people that are a real fall risk, this is an airbag. So if they fall, it buffers the fall. So it's pretty amazing for people, and there are people that fall all the time, and at one point, and anybody that needs, the statistics are frightening with falls. 1/3 of people that are 65 and over that fall will go back to normal and nothing will happen. They fall and nothing happens. 1/3 after a year's time will not be back at function, and 1/3 will be dead. So the numbers are, in 50% of people that go, say they fall and break a hip, which is typical, or a pelvic bone or whatever it is, and go into the hospital and rehab, they'll never return home again, especially in the 90s, and people with osteoporosis and all those kinds of things. This right-hand corner is a battery-operated spoon for people with tremors. And again, there's on and on of these. There's shows full of this technology that's going on to make the home accessible for younger and older people alike. So they're very cool. You can be very cool, and they're easy to do. And if somebody's setting it up, you're not going to get an 80-year-old setting up a refrigerator, but you sure can use it like a regular refrigerator, and somebody's there scanning the barcodes to know when the expiration dates are and all those other kinds of things. So health and disability, and I think this is, again, one of those topics and one of those big, real reasons. So within the last 10 years, physicians, I know at all the major hospitals, to my knowledge, have to be online. They have to put their health notes, their medical histories, all the lab tests online. And it used to be that a physician would write a prescription, nobody could read it, and there were all kinds of mistakes, and they'd write progress notes and you couldn't read them. Well, now they're all online. And the nice thing for our particular clientele, we had many clients that are on the west side, or west of the 405, but their doctors were at Cedars-Sinai. So they'd end up in an emergency room at UCLA, and they had no idea what was happening at Cedars-Sinai, where their doctor followed them. Now, because there was a lot of HIPAA problems with this, but now the programs read each other. So you can be going to an emergency room at UCLA and know what's been going on in the tests that have been given at Cedars-Sinai. You can go in there, and somebody, whether it be the older adult themselves or one of their family members, go into a port and email and make new appointments. They can order prescriptions and all these kinds of things. There's lots of telemedicine out there for people those are the basics that I see that are as soon as you learn those portals, it's life-changing.